I'm just noticing that this lady loves music. Well, she round her up. One of the things we can talk about a little bit that other people have asked me about songwriting is, in my humble opinion, you can write a song about anything. You can write a song about the sunrise, you can write a song about your favorite animals, the crops that are growing. Any conceivable topic is usable for a song lyric.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as melodies are concerned, or instrumentals, there's certain traditional types of melodies and I don't want to say rules, but guidelines that people follow for writing more traditional type melodies.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to art, or when it comes to music, I think that people have to follow their own muse, their own inner voices.
Mm-hmm.
And if you hear something that you want to express in music, find a way to express that.
Mm-hmm.
And don't be intimidated if it's something that's outside of what's already been done.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. It is, as you said, it is an art. Music is one of the arts.
Yeah.
And there's that whole creating process, and nothing should really get in the way of the creating process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not all the thoughts about, well, I wonder if this one chord should then go to a 4-chord or a 5. No, just let that go. Don't let that get in the way of the creative process.
Unless you want to write something. Again, that's one of the questions I ask people about art and music and writing in general, is who are you doing this for?
That's very
Are
important.
you doing this for yourself as a means of self-expression? I think there are poets who write poetry that is really a form of self-expression regardless of whoever reads it.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like writing a personal journal that
Yeah.
it's something that they will read and they'll be able to remember what motivated those thoughts and why they wanted to put it down on paper. There are other people, other musicians, artists, and writers who are writing for a small circle of friends or compatriots, people who appreciate a certain kind of art or music. Let's say people who love Celtic music.
Mm-hmm.
They will write certain kinds of tunes that appeal to the audience that loves the Celtic music, but it's not necessarily music that's going to appeal to everybody.
Right.
And then there are people who want to write songs that are going to be popular,
Yes.
that are going to translate, and like with the Beatles or something, whose music is played in just about every country in the world and is interpreted, through jazz, through Latin music, through folk music, through rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's interpreted in and even symphonic music. You'll find that there are symphonies that have played the Beatles melodies.
Yeah.
So again, when you're writing anything or whatever, think, do I want to write something that's going to have a broad appeal? And if I do, how do I get to that point? What I'm going to suggest to folks who want to do that is learn from the others who have already done it. Whatever your inclinations in popular music are, my songwriting is for the most part American folk music and country music, and a little bit of rock and a little bit of blues. I've dabbled with a little bit of jazz and a little bit of melodies that I think could translate into symphonic pieces or whatever. But the folks that I listened to when I was learning about music, and I love songbooks because they usually have the chords written out.
Oh, yes.
And even though I don't necessarily read the melody, if I really am stuck, I can pick out the melody note by note.
Okay.
And it's a great way to learn music.
It is.
That you learn the chord changes as they're going through, and they have them actually diagrammed out for you. It's a great way to learn, and as you hear the different changes, it gets into your mind, and you can tap into that when you're writing your own.
Sure.
So this was Neil Young, who I think is very inventive, creative songwriter.
Oh, yeah.
Hank Williams.
Oh boy, talk about country.
Oh yeah, I
Look
mean
at that
he is.
picture.
Oh yeah.
That's
And
great.
you go through his songs, and many of them are very well known, like I Saw the Light and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But he wrote a lot of songs that relatively unknown. The Beatles Complete. If you want to know about popular songwriting, go into this book and play through any number of the songs, and I think you'd be surprised at the complexity, of some of the Beatles songs.
Yeah.
That if you really want to play elaborate arrangements of some of these songs, they will throw chords at you that will challenge you. And then, of course, there's Bob Dylan.
Oh.
And here's a songbook of his 1966 through 1975.
Oh boy, that's.
And I have great admiration for Bob Dylan, as does every American songwriter. He's probably written more popular songs as an individual than just about anybody. I think the Beatles, Lennon and McCartney, and George Harrison, they've been recorded by more people around the world than just about anybody.
Yeah.
Incredibly popular, and again, not that this should be your motivation, but they've made millions and millions of dollars from their music.
Yeah.
So if you have the desire to create music, there are ways that you can make money from it.
Yeah. Well, that's
all.
wonderful. You've covered so many different aspects of songwriting.